I've stood 10 toes down on this, guys. I said I did not love the fact that Kendrick called Drake a PDF foul. And not because he said it, but because I just felt like there was not enough strong evidence to suggest that. If you're going to call somebody that, I want to see strong evidence.
Because you talked to me about the hate that Kendrick is now receiving. It's pre-GNX.
I did say that.
And I told you that, yes, Kendrick was the underdog. He beat the guy who was the people's champ, if you will. And now that he beat him in the fashion that he beat him, that underdog is no longer looked at as no damn underdog.
As much as people are trashing Andrew Schulz. One thing I commend is as soon as he heard it, he decided to come on there and address it, and he's defending himself. It takes a lot to actually go on there, especially going against pretty much black people, for you to still stand 10 toes down. That's crazy.
2014 Forest Hills Drive. A lot of people will argue this is his best album. I'm one of those people who stand on that. This was a special album, and we're 10 years later, man. So
Yo. We
are Levi's Wise Guys.
Check out the full podcast. Link below.
Yo. We are Levi's Wise Guys. Your boy, check out my boy
QDeezy for Sheezy from RGM Easy.
Oh,
check me out.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the gang. If you're new here, stay a while. And if you've been here before, stay even longer. This is the Ill-Advised Wise Guys. I'm Uch, that's Q. We appreciate y'all for pulling up on us as always. Make sure, as we like to say every episode, hit that subscribe button. If you like the content, hit that like button. Share the episode, comment, do whatever you need to do. Share with some friends, bro. We going up, man. We going up. We want y'all to be along for the ride as we hit our next goal of what? What are we trying to get to?
2,000.
How many subs? 2, what we want?
2,000.
2,000?
Yeah, 2,000.
We need 2K subs, man.
More subs in Subway.
Help us get there, man.
That was corny.
More subs than
remember Quiznos?
More subs than Jared.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's even worse.
Actually, he's in jail. You know he's in jail?
Yeah, of course. I saw an ID channel documentary on him.
Actually, he's been in jail for a while.
Nasty.
We should have known Jared was a little creep, though, man. He looked like a creep. No?
What? He lost weight. So you talking about before the weight loss?
I'm talking about
after?
Before and after. His face didn't change. He looked like a creep before and
First
after
off,
the
why
weight,
did
bro.
we make somebody like him popular? Like just a random regular dude.
Bro, he was fat.
He was
Dave Blunt's fat. What do you mean? Of course, Subway was trying to market that their products would help you lose weight. And that's what happened. What are you talking about?
Speaking of, before we get into the topics, this is like one of the first. Dave Blunt's has unified bad people. I saw nobody defending him.
Yo,
did you see anybody online defend?
Never.
Like, yo, hey man, it's his, be careful, it's his weight. Everybody, our shout out RGM, the post that we had on Dave Blunt's was like it had like 100 comments or however comments. All of them were bad. I was like, what?
And you know what's so funny? What nobody noticed.
That's outrageous.
Yo, it is. But
talking about cup.
Yo.
I can't put my cup down.
I can't put down the
outrageous.
cup. I can't put down the cup. But here's the thing. What everybody missed in that whole situation, I'm not going to spend too much time, is Snoop dissed him first.
He did diss him first.
He said, yo, you can't put down the cup. Yo, you need to put down the wings or whatever he said. And then that's what made him say F him on stage and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, Dave Blunt needs help. Bro,
it's crazy.
We have to set a standard. You can't perform with an oxygen mask on.
Dog.
Like, I'm sorry.
Do
we have to say that that you're going too far?
I don't mean this. I mean this as respectfully.
God.
I mean this as respectfully. Please. I mean it as respectfully.
Goodness gracious.
When I actually heard I can't put down my cup.
Yeah.
It felt like a posthumous release.
Whoa.
Whoa. It felt like that. Where it was, I'm being dead ass, where it was just like, yo, dog, like this feels really bad. Like he feels on the verge. That looked bad.
I'm not gonna lie.
Do you know what I'm saying? You get that feel?
Posthumous is crazy, but I get where you're coming from.
You get what I'm saying?
Look, I'm not. We've been talking about this guy for too long, but I will say he needs help.
Yo,
and I hope he loses weight.
Put the cup, like you talking about
cup down.
Lean.
Bro, put the cup down and put the oxygen mask away.
Oh my God. You have a cup, an oxygen mask, and you're on the couch and you be wheelchaired, like, come on.
Yeah, come on.
My God.
We got to stop this.
Anyway,
Anybody
this is
condoning this
just
is you're
random.
crazy. Like, you're
Just
wilding if you think that's
Just
okay.
random.
But anyway.
Just random.
Man, we got a whole new episode for y'all. Shout out to y'all, man. If you checked out our last one, we talked about Kendrick's new album, GNX. If you want to know our thoughts on that, y'all make sure to tap in after this episode. On this episode, though, we got much more things to talk about, which we'll discuss in a few. But before we get to that, Q, talk to me, man. What you got?
Check out ratingsgamemusic.com, a.k.a. the greatest music site on the globe.
Bow.
We got a lot of news. We cover some news. Album reviews. So we got NBA YoungBoy. What is it called? I
got a lot on my shoulders.
I got a lot on my shoulders. Smino, maybe in Nirvana. I thought that was a pretty good album. What came out last week? J. Cole. J. Cole dropped a whole bunch of stuff. We're gonna talk about J. Cole. J. Cole dropped a whole bunch of stuff. I thought it was fun. I did reviews on those albums, like the Come Up, not the Fall Off, the Come Up, Friday Night Lights,
The Warm Up.
The warm up. I did those three.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I did
his 3 classic mixtapes, by the way.
Yeah, and
like,
I
let's
did
get that,
his album. So yeah, check out ratingsgamemusic.com.
Yes, sir.
Greatest music site on the globe. It looks amazing on mobile. Check it out on mobile.
It does.
It's not crashing.
Big RGM, yeah. Ratingsgamemusic.com. Y'all know the site.
I'm saying, you know what I'm talking about, Cud? You know what I'm talking about, Cud?
Come on, man. Chill, bro. We not gang affiliated, man. Relax.
I can't say Cud?
No, that's a gang word, bro.
What if I said Cuz?
See, that's not.
What?
You can say cuz.
Oh, but Cuz?
You can't say cuz. No, that's 100% Crip lingo, but we're not doing that. On to some other topics. Zero Skips, the mother effing playlist. It features a lot of talent, rising talent from all over the world. Man, of course, we got new records we've added. Hip hop records, actually, more recently, a lot of Afro beats we've been adding to the playlist. A lot of
Afro beats is good.
A lot of folks, submitting to us, and it's one of those things where it's like I'm having a hard time saying no to the Afro beat. A lot of the music is just fire to me. Am I being biased because I'm African? Like,
of course,
I am. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard a bad Afro beat song?
No, I've not. Actually,
so come on now.
Actually,
your people listening now. Come on now.
Actually, your boy Malik Berry has a couple of songs that I'm not too fond of.
My boy trying to trigger me right now, but we're not doing that.
No, it's not. Malik Berry is good.
You damn right he's good. He's one of the legends in the Afrobeat space. Now, back to the playlist. There's a guy, man. Fox the Swiper, man. He dropped a new song called Automatic.
Wait, Swiper? The Fox? De'Aaron Fox?
No, his name is Fox the Swiper, man. We've had him on the playlist before. He's no stranger to it. But
De'Aaron Fox calls himself Swiper.
Does he really?
Yeah, he does. Swiper. Yeah. Swiper.
Fox the Swiper.
They call him Swiper the Fox.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
Are you bullshitting?
No, that is.
Sorry, are you bulljabbing?
So that's De'Aaron Fox on that playlist.
Wow, shout out to De'Aaron Fox, man, and Fox the Swiper. Actually, those are the same people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, damn, man. Whoa, damn, De'Aaron Fox dropped a new song called Automatic then.
Yeah, and it's on that playlist.
Well, shout out to him, man. If you guys want to check that song out, y'all go to the playlist right now, link in the description. And also, y'all check him out as well. In stores now, as I like to always say. AKA Spotify.
In stores now.
Yes, sir. Q, on this episode.
God. Oh, my gosh.
We're going to talk about a few things that's been happening, man. Again, like I said before, man, we talked about Kendrick's newer album that dropped, GNX, heavily LA inspired. But of course, the scrutiny, the conversation doesn't stop there because more has happened since we recorded our last episode.
Yes.
Drake has been suing UMG. Somehow, some way, he claims he's not suing Kendrick directly, but hey, it is what it is. Kendrick's found his way in that. We're going to talk about the lawsuit, who's taking more L's in this back and forth, who's had more wins, and all of that. We'll get to it. Also, ironically, again, speaking of Kendrick, he took shots.
Kendrick to you.
King Kuta.
Douche.
He took shots at Andrew Schulz.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. On Whacked Out Murals, the first song on that album. Andrew Schulz he's returned fire, guys. He said what he said. We're going to talk about that and the climate around social media. That's going to be a really good one as well. Of course, we got to talk about J. Cole. You mentioned this earlier. 2014 Forest Hills Drive. That's the 10-year anniversary.
Yes.
Do we have much to say about that? But I do think we should start with Kendrick and Drake.
Oh, God. Here we go.
For the umpteenth time this year.
Let me drink my holy water real quick.
Yo.
Have you ever had holy water? Have you drank? How come nobody drinks holy water?
It's too expensive. I mean, nobody can afford it. That's why. But, it's funny, man. Before we talked about at least having this topic on the show, man, we've been fatigued with these two guys, haven't we? It's a lot of fatigue going on between the Drake and the Kendrick. It's every day there's a new story. Why can't it just go away?
It's nasty.
It's getting nasty, right? Well, Drake would probably argue it was nasty when Kendrick called him a PDF file, right? Mm-hmm. Hence why the lawsuit is happening and all this other stuff, more than likely. But I got to say, I want to turn this first topic into like more of a back and forth. Let's both of us throw out a couple of different instances that have happened on Kendrick and or Drake's side, and we'll say who had the better look? Who came out on top of this particular scenario? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So let's just start with the most recent one, the lawsuit.
Okay.
Drake sued UMG twice.
And
actually, it's not even a real lawsuit. I want to be clear. It's a petition.
Yes.
I don't want to be corrected. I know what happened. There's a difference between a petition and a lawsuit. But he's had 2 petitions so far against UMG and Spotify.
Drake has taken legal action.
Call it whatever you want.
Yes, there we go.
Who has taken the W or the L in that scenario?
What are you talking about?
That's a real question.
Are you kidding me? Well, here's the thing. So there was 2, like you mentioned. Mm-hmm. The first one, Drake could have spun it in a way where it's like I'm fighting for artists because it had to do with payola, right?
That was part of it.
Yeah. So, payola, pretty much Drake feeling like, there's a smear campaign essentially against him with the label, and they're using pretty much, they used him. Because in the background, Drake has actually been talking about his label situation for years, almost like 2 or 3 years, going back to his albums. He's talking about how the next record deal's got to be a couple million, blah 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 blah. So Drake is arguing that they're trying to diminish. It's almost like the NBA, right? Like, it's funny. I had this conversation the other day. They were like, "Why is Jonathan Kuminga coming off the bench?" Everybody with eyes can see that Jonathan Kuminga is a starter. But they're arguing that, it's a contract year. So if we start him and play him big minutes, we got to pay him big money. So Drake is in a similar situation, or that's what Drake is arguing. They're trying to find ways to make me look bad.
The diminishing his value.
Undervalue me.
The diminishing his value,
it's like,
arguably.
If we put our feelings aside, if we put the beef aspect aside, that one is not a bad look. That's what I said. It depends on how you spin it. The second one, I can't roll with that one. Drake, I get it. Drake mentioned how which is kind of wild that, I've stood 10 toes down on this, guys. I said I did not love the fact that Kendrick called Drake a pedophile, PDF file. And not because he said it, but because I just felt like there was not enough just strong evidence to suggest that. If you're going to call somebody that, I want to see strong evidence, not just, pictures of Bobby Millie Brown. Oh, yeah, he took a picture of a 15-year-old. Fine. That's not strong enough evidence to throw out and call a pedophile, PDF file, let alone the fact that this is on streaming services. This is being played by radio. President is talking about not I understand why Drake would be irate, but at the same time, it was Drake. You return fire to him, and you said some unflattering things. And at that point, I'm somebody who believes that. I'm somebody who strongly believes when you do something bad to someone, you cannot expect them to react how you want them to.
You can't. Yeah, you don't control it. You don't control the response, right?
So
I agree with that.
The second one, I don't agree with, but the first one, depending on how Drake spins it.
Well, look, let me jump in here because what I'm hearing is you are loosely, if not not 10 toes down. I give you about 6 toes. You 6 toes down defending Drake. It's like a you know.
No,
he's not a
let's
full
be
blown
human.
equivocal.
Can we be human?
Backing.
Let's be human for a second.
All right, let's do that. Oh no, okay.
Like,
so with
you
that,
can't just throw pedophile out there.
All right, look, I'm with you because we talked about this, bro. Like same thing, man. When that accusation was made on Not Like Us, full blown accusation. People said, bro, it's music. It's beef. It's rap. There's no rules in rap. Remember people said that?
Yes.
So the flip side of the argument is, well, if we're using that thinking, there should be no getting in your feelings, Drake. There should be no, oh man, you called me a pedophile. I'm actually internalizing this and I'm making it a big deal. If it's rap, Drake should have sidestepped that and not even addressed it. Matter of fact, I truly believe if Drake never addressed it, because he addressed it a couple different ways, it might have gone away. It might have like not stuck and it might have just,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? But Drake kind of like
here's the thing.
felt the need to defend it because truthfully, it was impacting business. And like you said, behind the scenes, nobody really knew he was renegotiating with UMG. And it's big money Drake's talking about. We talking about his last deal was allegedly $400 million he signed. And this time around, he's alleged to have asked for more. And so it's ironic, around this exact time, he gets into a beef. His value gets diminished. Companies don't want to stand by him. And he's probably not going to get the same amount that he's asking for. So that whole diminishing of value is probably a real thing. But again, if this is rap beef, Drake is kind of being a little sensitive, in my opinion.
He is being a little sensitive.
Being a little sensitive, man.
But
we got to be real about that.
But here's the thing.
And here's the thing. If you want to be human, the human side of this says, in my opinion, the other part is, okay, realistically speaking, this is rap. So at the end of the day, take what comes with it, the good and the bad. You also made accusations, Drake, about Kendrick's character. What about that?
But here's the thing.
You claimed he was a woman beater.
Who actually believes even a little bit that Drake's a pedophile?
There's some people who truly believe that.
Yeah, then there are a lot of it. There's some people that believe the sky is orange.
Yo, knock it off.
Like,
knock it off. There was a substantial. You got to see this. Don't be delusional.
You believe it. But
there
why?
was a good amount. I don't want to say like the vast majority. I'm not saying that.
They say that. They saying that. I don't think people actually. But just like same thing. I mean, I don't. Wife beater makes more sense.
Okay.
Because we see that all the time. Like, you know what I mean? But like to PDF, like I personally don't. How about this? I personally don't believe it.
Look, I don't believe it either. Like,
so,
you're asking, but no, but you said who actually believes that, implying that people don't think that. I don't believe
deep
it.
down, I don't think people believe that.
I do believe people who saw him on stage with a 17-year-old acting weird, knowing that she was 17 when he was like 26, 25 or whatever the case is. I do believe people seeing his, what you could probably deem as an inappropriate relationship with a young Millie Bobby Brown. I do feel like people they're using these breadcrumbs to just make these extreme claims on a dude. But you know how people are, man. Where there's smoke, there's fire, man. They don't have any true evidence.
I mean,
but I do think there's people who probably like, man, this guy's a little weird.
But, I mean, aside from that,
you know what I'm saying? But that's the side point.
Aside from that, I mean, I just think I think, like I said, depending on how you spend this world, the way we work now is how you spend things, and he can spin that lawsuit. He could have spun it in a way where it's like, you know, you're really actually fighting for artists, but it's just in a beef. It's just never, the optics are never going to look good.
And this is why
when you talk about suing.
I agree with you, and this is why Kendrick gets the W, because it's the timing, and the messaging. Why did he have to drop this lawsuit the day after Kendrick dropped his new album? Yeah, why? He just added more promo for the man's new album. Yeah. He could have easily dropped this 6 months from now, or 4 months from the album drop, and I guarantee you wouldn't have hit as hard.
There's an end goal. So what you're saying, right, is
optics. I'm speaking about optics.
Well, the thing is, right now, right, it looks bad. But think about this. He's probably getting this thing out so that by the time the Super Bowl comes around, Not like us is banned or whatever is off streaming platforms or whatever agreement that they get onto. Like, you know, it's strategic. Just like the same way GNX dropped in November. I think it's strategic for like the Super Bowl and the stuff that Kendrick got going on. But I do want to pivot to this where, you know, we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Artist of the year, right? Literally, I had Future as hip hop artist of the year. I had Future.
I made the claim.
Completely
last
switched.
episode, 100%.
Because ever since then,
Didn't I say that?
yeah, you did say Future.
I said.
Yeah.
I've been saying
And
it
I've
all
been saying
year.
Future
I've been
too.
saying it
I've
all
been saying
year.
Future
That
too.
Future is the guy this year.
Because I was like, Kendrick Lamar didn't drop an album, right? Kendrick Lamar, now he's dropped an album.
True.
Now he has the hottest song, right? Now he's announced perform Super Bowl,
Right.
and now he announced tours. I think now you got to give it to him easily. He's easily
So you're saying you
artist
have to
of
give it
the
to
year.
Kendrick now.
You have to give it to Kendrick now. However, you know,
It's tough.
I want to play devil's advocate. I thought Drake had a pretty good year.
Talk to me.
Thought
Explain.
Drake
Make
had
the
a
case.
pretty
Make
good
the
year.
case.
I think if you looked at, I don't have my Spotify numbers are probably wrong. My Spotify numbers are probably wrong
All right.
because I listen to so many indie artists and stuff like that, and it's just like I listen to it for work.
Fair.
But a song I probably played, I played Not Like Us a lot.
Yeah.
But if I probably played Family Matters just as much, if not more.
Real talk.
I think Family Matters is a fantastic song.
Real talk.
We can't
Nah,
forget
Family
about
Matters
what
is
Drake.
phenomenal.
We can't forget about what Drake did with push-ups before Kendrick went nuclear. Drake was killing it with push-ups. He had the AI joint.
People didn't like that, by the way.
They didn't
Taylor
like
made
it, but it
freestyle.
was
People didn't
polarizing.
really love that.
It was a polarizing.
I loved it.
It was a polarizing release.
Right.
He dropped a couple songs like with Gordo. He's still doing pretty well despite not having his frequent collaborators.
Okay.
Right? And then he still chopped the Spotify top rapper in terms of streams in 2024 without even dropping an album.
Fair enough.
Like, he's had a good year.
Okay, I will give you that. I will give you he's had a good year, but
I wouldn't say second, but
no way in hell he's number 2 or 3 in that list. I think actually 2 things. Let me back up. You said that you have to give Kendrick the rapper of the year crown given what has happened in basically November and December.
yes.
I understand why you're saying that, and I'm not even mad at that take. Only thing I will say is I'm still going Future just because to drop
It's absolutely not Future.
consistently throughout
it's
the
not
year.
Future.
Future dominated throughout the year and had moments that are arguably as big.
Future
with the We Don't Trust You album cycle.
Future won
Come on now.
offensive player of the year. He won offensive
Knock
player
it
of the
off.
year.
Knock it
Not
off.
MVP.
I'm going Future.
MVP is Kendrick.
I'm going
It's
Future.
not even
I'm going
close.
Future. But it's cool.
Are you kidding
If you
me?
feel Kendrick, I'm not even mad at the late surge he had in the year.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay. That album
But that
solidified
don't-
it. No, the album solidified it. And Kendrick, and then
I'm not mad
you
at
don't
that,
forget
but
Kendrick.
I'm still going
Kendrick had
Future.
the pop out concert, which was,
That was-
excellent.
he was.
Like he's definitely artist of the year.
But the same way you were about to knock him, not this episode, before he dropped GNX, that he didn't drop an album prior to this year.
that's all I needed.
So all you needed was one
I just
album.
need an album.
All right, fair.
It can be a trash
Give
album.
it to
can be whatever.
Kendrick. That's cool. I'm
Give
not mad
me
at it.
Kendrick,
I'm
but-
going Future, damn it. I'm sticking to my damn guns. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, this is stubborn.
Nah,
Negro,
bro.
When
I
the
just
facts
believe
when the
it.
facts change, your opinions got to change.
Yes.
and I've changed my opinion
For you.
Yes,
But
yes.
not for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we talked about the lawsuit for most of that, man.
What is
And-
when you talk about with?
But
this?
I will say this though about Kendrick has won the narrative battle. He won the impact battle. So
Which is surprising.
So we can talk all the numbers game all we want. Oh, Drake was the #1 streaming rapper of 2024. All right, bet. That's impressive because streaming, like we always talk about numbers versus impact. Streaming does talk about demand and consumption. We get it. But Kendrick had a way more impactful year in hip hop, in the narrative of Kendrick. About Kendrick.
Yeah.
Kendrick had a way more impactful year from a hip hop, just a battle rap standpoint. From a narrative standpoint, he announced the Super Bowl. He's doing cultural things that to me are making him more of a I would say a household name in 2024, which is actually not something that I believe most people would have saw before this year. Well, most people didn't have Kendrick over Drake in a global battle.
Yeah.
In a mainstream battle. Yeah. Kendrick has had a crazy surge this year.
Well, the thing is, let me ask you this. I think in America, we love a good David versus Goliath story. That's what this is.
Okay.
Let's never forget that. Let's never forget this is David versus Goliath. And this is no knock on Kendrick.
It is because you call him David.
I'm saying because Drake is that big. Drake is that global.
See, I don't
Drake is that known.
You see,
this has always been a David versus Goliath type thing.
Let's get a couple more minutes in this
right?
topic real quick. Let's get a couple. You pissing me off. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You know why? Because I reject the narrative that people like to put on Kendrick's jacket and make it seem like Kendrick ain't a massive domestic star and also international.
Drake, I
understand Drake is bigger, but it's not.
You have to remember something.
He's not in another stratosphere.
But you have to remember something. Like Kendrick at that time, we didn't hear anything from Kendrick like that.
Which time?
We didn't know. Like at the time that not like. Remember, we were coming off of Kendrick. We didn't like Mr. Morale. Or people did not like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, right?
Okay.
So we were coming off, Kendrick. Even J. Cole said, "Yo, Kendrick don't even really make music." Like, and at this time, Drake and J. Cole feel like they on top of the world, first person shooter. Drake is like, "Yo, like I'm pretty much doing whatever I want. I'm going on these tours, blah 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 blah." Drake was at his like highest, and so
I don't know about
this is.
But
not saying it's. I'm not saying like it's Kendrick is like some super duper small artist, but what I'm saying is like Drake was at the top, and this is somebody who's down there taking out the person at the top, right?
He's below him.
He took him out, right?
Yeah.
But it's always been an underdog story to me.
100%.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's always been an underdog story.
And look. You're right about that, and
I think we Americans love a good underdog story.
I can get on board with that. The last thing I'll say though is we talked about this off camera a few weeks ago, and I remember this very clearly because you talked to me about the hate that Kendrick is now receiving. This is pre-GNX.
I did say that,
and I told you that yes, Kendrick was the underdog. I literally said that. I said Kendrick was the underdog, but
he slayed.
And he slayed. I didn't say he slayed Goliath, but he beat the guy who was the people's champ, if you will. And now that he beat him in the fashion that he beat him, that underdog is no longer looked at as no damn underdog.
He's the top.
And guess what happens when you're the top guy? You're now getting shot at from every angle, from the fans. Everybody's gonna turn on you. So I think that Kendrick is in a new era. He's in a new era of his sort of like artistry where you no longer should be looked at as an underdog in any way. Yeah. Numbers wise, is out of here. Tour wise, he about to do a stadium tour. Drake has never done a stadium tour.
Yeah, he's doing stadium. Hey, but Rod Wave has.
No, he ain't done no damn stadium tour. Nah.
Did you hear Rod Wave?
No, the hell he hasn't.
He said, hey, shout out. I sold out the Bucks Arena. I got love for Bucks Arena, but I sold out the Bucks Arena. But anyway,
I don't know what you're talking about. But
it's on the album. He said it on the album. He said that. He always talks about how he sells out arenas. Anyway, next topic.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kendrick, this is just a Kendrick show. Huh?
Hey man,
K-Dot.
It's 2024.
Ill-advised K-bots.
We become part of the K-bots. We become part. Are we K-bots?
Yes.
Damn, bro.
Yes, we are.
Kendrick
Lamar. Kendrick Lamar. He said a lot of things. You know what? He in that album, I found it funny, right? In that album, there was only about 3 people that could have been offended by what he was saying on that album.
Okay.
Right? There was a couple shots here and there at Drake.
Only
right?
3?
3. Drake, right?
Okay.
Lil Wayne.
Yep.
Right? Lil Wayne. I didn't even think it was a shot at Lil Wayne, but Lil Wayne took it fine.
Okay. No, that was a shot.
Snoop Dogg.
Kinda.
Right? That's 3.
Okay.
And then Andrew Schulz will be 4, where that one was not also a direct shot. In Whacked Up Mirrors,
Nice little sub.
he said, yeah, don't ever let a white comedian talk about black women, right?
That's law.
That's law, right? And Andrew Schulz, as you guys know, comedian, Brilliant Idiots. What's the other podcast that he does? Flagrant, right? Weird mustache.
Looks like Hitler.
Yeah, he
Yo, kind of looks like Hitler.
It's funny. He does. I actually watched that clip before it got all blown up with Whacked Out Mirrors.
Okay.
I watched that clip.
Okay.
And I was laughing. My first initial response was I was laughing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yo, dog, like that's crazy. I've never heard a white comedian talk about like dating a black woman. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said something like they complain too much or something like that. Is that what he said? Because you notice on Twitter people are not actually talking about what he said. I don't think most people who are commenting on this thing actually remember what he said.
So I don't remember the joke verbatim. I couldn't tell you exactly. But
it was
the
about,
tone of the
it
joke
was something about they complain too much.
basically your wife. It wasn't even about black women per se.
Yeah.
That was just the example to me. The way I looked at it was him just being misogynistic in a funny way. He just used black women as the scapegoat for that particular joke. That's what, because he jokes like that. I'm very familiar with Andrew Schulz. He's very misogynistic in his jokes.
Yeah.
So that's really what the undertone of it. But keep going.
So it's essentially, I believe he said something about complaining. If I'm not mistaken,
100%.
He said something about complaining, right? So I saw it, and I saw a couple people. I think Ryan Clark actually did a soliloquy.
Did he really?
About it? Yeah. Ryan Clark was pretty much like, "Yo, that's not cool. I didn't find it funny," et cetera, et cetera. So it just had me thinking, man. Like you used the word. I love that you use this word in our pre-call. Sensitive. Is Twitter, the Twitterverse, and just social media, have we gotten to a point where people are being a little too sensitive? Or do you think Andrew Schulz really went out of bounds? Do you feel like he should not have said what he said?
Man,
and I don't want to hear in between.
This is so, this topic is a long time coming.
Oh, here we go.
It's a long time coming.
Here we go.
Not for me, not for you.
Let me get my beer.
Now go get your popcorn too.
Let me get my tea.
Get your popcorn too.
Is this tea?
Maybe green tea. I don't know. Who knows? It's a long time coming, man. Not for me, not for you, not for the folks listening and watching. But it's time we start having convos openly, and just being raw about it, right? And I say that because when are we going to just acknowledge that comedians, one of their main goals is to offend and to take things too far? I mean, is that do I got to give a PSA to to say that? Do we forget that is the point of a comedian? I mean, I say all that to say there will be edge cases. You can't do anything. I'm not saying that nothing is off limits, but I am saying they do deserve some creative leeway to go far. This is the reason why, Dave Chappelle's always getting cussed at every time he makes trans jokes. The trans community can't take it. They say, yo, stop talking about us. But no, like Andrew Schulz likes to always say, everybody gets these jokes. That's his saying. He says it.
Everybody gets it. Like anybody can get it.
Anybody can get it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, if you watch him, he's big on that. And this to me is no different. And so I got to say that off rip because it's an obvious statement. He's a comedian. Let's stop acting like he's not a comedian. If you don't know he's a comedian, get hip. But he's not just some random white guy just talking, okay? He's a comedian who does arena tours too. So with that all being said, putting that all aside, no, he did not go too far. No.
Well, let me rephrase it.
He did not go far.
Okay, so there was 2 parts, right? There was the part where he
initial,
talked about the black women.
And then there's the response.
And then the response where he talked about pretty much molesting or Kendrick, right?
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Okay, let me be clear. I'm addressing no, he didn't go too far on the original response about the black women.
Yeah.
I believe that's black people being sensitive, which is, I get, shit.
Wow.
I do think sometimes we're too sensitive. And, hey, A lot of times it works in our favor because you do have to be overly critical and overly sensitive to even raise issues of injustice and all of these different things that happen in the world. So I'm not saying don't be sensitive at all. No, I'm saying in a meaning, in a landscape where we're talking about comedy, we have to not lose context here. This is a comedy sketch. Comedian, let's not lose our damn mind here. So when Kendrick made that joke, that bar, don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman, that's law. I don't agree with Kendrick on that. What do you mean a white guy can't talk about a black woman? I don't agree with that. No. So that's what I mean by like we can't just lose context. With all that being said, Andrew did take it far with the response. Talked about the raping and all this other stuff, but I ain't gonna lie, I looked at that as just like white boy humor. I'm not gonna lie. That was white boy humor.
I agree.
That was complete. If you've ever been around white guys in frat houses, drinking, early 20s, you know that it be on some gay stuff. Like you just have to. Again, that's the context of it all. If you don't have that experience, you've never been around that environment, you don't know that type of environment, that cultural difference, you're gonna look at what Andrew Schulz said as going too far. I personally didn't have a problem with it. I'll say that. I didn't have a problem with it. Did you have a problem with it?
So, you know my favorite saying: two things can be true.
Nah, that's see. You told me don't be in the middle.
Okay,
take a side.
I'm telling the truth, right?
Okay, all right.
Okay, first and foremost, the black women thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's okay. You can be offended. Just because you're a comedian doesn't mean that you didn't say a joke that offended me, right? Of course I can be offended. But I just feel like everything doesn't need a think piece. We don't need a whole bunch of think pieces. Like, oh my God, he said that, and it's like, we can't let this happen because society has pushed black people down this. We don't need a full-blown think piece. You are offended by something a comedian said, right? And I think it's, oh, damn, that's offensive. Move on. I think that's, in this case, with the comedian thing. For me, it's like, it's a move on type thing. It's like he said that and like, damn, that's crazy that he said that about, black women. But like, I don't think it needs this full-blown think piece.
But it didn't have one until Kendrick said it in a bar, which wasn't a think piece.
It's not a think piece, but it's a deep down like philosophy of this. I don't think it needed all that. Okay, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then with the he said he's gonna
the response.
The response. Let me just say the response.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny. I thought it was funny. I thought because I didn't take him as literal as everybody. Same thing with the black women coming, man. I didn't take it as literal as other people are taking it.
Right.
What he was trying to say was, I can beat him up. He's pretty much saying like, yo, hey, Kendrick Lamar, which
is how it started.
That's how it started.
That's actually how it started. But then he went to the rape and all the other stuff.
And it took it into me. I was like, okay, you going too far. This is just too much. Like you said, I don't think this is the type of jokes we make in the black community. But like for some reason y'all think that's funny, and I just think you took it too far. But I understood once again when I listened to it. I personally just didn't believe it needed this full blown think piece. I just thought it was like, yo, dog, this guy's crazy. He took it way too far. I'm not thinking race. I'm just like, this guy is just, that's wild.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
But and I want to say this too, because I do. And by the way,
but
Meek Mill also said we don't play like that in the black community.
I want to reiterate, and that's what I said. Remember,
I
I told you, you asked me. I said I actually like what Meek Mill said.
Okay,
right? Because he said, yo, we don't really play like that in the black community. That's fair, right? I get it. You can be offended. I can, dog. I've been to comedy shows. We all been to comedy shows. They say stuff. Dog, Nigerians get hit. We get. Do you know how many offensive things people have joked about me being Nigerian?
Fair.
I'm like, I don't need a whole think piece. Like, yo, you're really from Africa.
But come on, dog.
This,
but come on, man. Listen. All right, bet. Meek said what he said. You liked what he said. I didn't have.
Sorry, I meant to say I didn't have a problem.
Okay, fine. You didn't have a problem with what he said. Well, he didn't have a problem with Andrew Schulz clowning him about being gay about the Diddy stuff the first time, and that's what Andrew brought back to his attention when he was like, "You're saying all of this, but like, You didn't have a problem when I called you gay the first time.
Well, the fact of the matter is he was offensive. He was offended, right? But he laughed it off. Just like when we all go to comedy shows, we get offended, we laughed it off.
Comedy.
But
it's a joke.
You can't tell I know, but you can't tell. Come on.
No. I'm not saying you nobody should. I'm not trying to police anybody's emotions or you're allowed to be offended. I'm not saying you can't be offended.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, dog, relax.
Well, we're on the same page. We're actually on the same page.
Yo, it's not that deep all the time.
We're on the same page. Well, I did want to bring this up.
Go ahead.
You know, kind of like to pivot. One thing that I commend, first off, as much as people are trashing Andrew Schulz, one thing I commend is he addressed. As soon as he heard it, he decided to come on there and address it, and he's defending himself, doing it in different platforms and media. That takes a lot. A lot of people are going to sit here and be like, oh, man, what is he talking about? He did it. It takes a lot to actually go on there, especially going against pretty much, it's mainly black people, right? That's coming at him, right? So it's for you to still stand 10 toes down. That's crazy. That's bold.
Look, you're right. You're right.
And what I was trying to say was, what I think sucks about this situation, I wanted to bring this up.
Okay.
What sucks is that, Kendrick lately, he's been saying and doing a whole bunch of stuff, and it sucks. I guess it's not his fault, but we don't ever really get to hear what he thinks. He kind of drops these bombs, and then other people defend Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? I would love to hear what Kendrick thinks about a lot of these comments that he says, right? Like, how do you feel about Drake? How do you feel address, like, I think even in the Big Steppers, right? He said a bunch of stuff that's like, whoa, that's a bombshell. I think he called out, I want to say he called out, not Colin Kaepernick, he called out somebody in one of the songs and said like, yo, I don't listen to this person or something like that. And it's like, what sucks is we never hear what he thinks, because Kendrick is a very reserved, silent person. And so this is another situation where the internet's going to fight all of Kendrick's battles, and we're never going to hear what he actually thinks. For all we can think, Kendrick can just say like, yo, man, he could have hit up Andrew Schulz in the back and was like, I just wanted to bring that up. I understand it's nothing. We will never know. Well, and I think that's the thing that kind of sucks is Twitter is fighting battles for these artists.
Well, yes, I agree with that. And we talked about this as well, man. Like, that is what a lot of rappers have taken on this characteristic of being, feeling like they're prophetic, feeling like they are God-like. It's a common phrase for people to say, I'm God body. It's like, it's old school. Obviously, people don't really say that anymore, but like, God flow. There's a God complex, I believe, that's happening among rappers, especially the top ones. And listen, I'm not even mad at it, because when you are him, when you're the best rapper in your mind, you feel like you are on top of the world, you should be able to talk confidently and feel like I should be able to address concerns that I see in my community. I'm not mad at it. I just feel like the problem is social media.
Yes.
And the problem is the stan culture. We've talked about this in the past. The problem is the sensationalized community that Twitter, Instagram, all these platforms have turned into, because this doesn't have a ton of legs if people aren't hyping it up. If people aren't making big deals about them. Like, if we're being honest, right? I know I got a brain, so I'm able to deduce things and have deductive reasoning. Cool. Do we know for a fact that Kendrick was talking about Andrew Schulz?
I've seen people argue that.
I'm just saying, do we know for a fact?
He took the bait. I mean,
they always say hit dogs will holler, but who's to say social media didn't drive this whole thing? I know for a fact when the joint came out, the new album, that's immediately what people were saying. Oh, Kendrick took shots at Andrew Schulz. And listen, I was part of it because I do believe he was talking about Andrew Schulz.
I'm
just saying, do we know?
We were actually one of the. Like I said, I actually watched that clip. So I knew it directly. But if you didn't watch the clip, you would know.
That's true.
If you were not familiar with Andrew Schulz, I literally watched that clip like a month ago.
Right.
I was like, yo, damn, like that's crazy. But I will say this. I mean, we kind of defended Andrew Schulz. I will say this: the back and forth, calling Kendrick a hypocrite. Stop it. We ain't gonna do all that.
What do you mean?
The hypocrite, he's like, yo, man, but Kendrick, didn't you do a song with this? And
that was his rebuttal. That was his rebuttal.
I
on the whole thing.
don't like that.
He was like, he said, aren't you a rapper?
Aren't you a rapper? Rappers do this, and rappers don't y'all all this.
Don't y'all abuse women?
Yeah,
I don't like that. That's corny. That's corny.
That's the part. We're not gonna ride with that. But
I defend his right. I defend his right to make jokes.
And I want to make this clear because if you put this out, people are just going to be like, you guys are coons and this. I want to make this clear. Comedian. He is a comedian. Just like you're talking about rap beefs, right? You're like, no holds bar in a rap beef, right? Mm-hmm. So when I hear rap beefs, I'm going to hear a lot of things that's offensive, but I'm going to be like, it's a rap beef.
It's a rap beef, right?
Yeah, anything goes in a rap beef. I don't know the last time y'all been to a comedy show. Dog, I went to a comedy show. I'm not even going to name the person. It was a white comedian. He was saying the N-word.
That's crazy.
A lot.
That's crazy.
And to the point where, everybody was laughing. There's black people on the show. Everybody laughing. He was saying the N-word. Hey. And I was like, yo, dog, I'm offended.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, he's a comedian. He thinks it's funny. I understand where he's coming from. He doesn't need this whole think piece. I'm not sitting here talking about this guy is the most racist person in the world. But I was like, wow, I wouldn't have did that. I wouldn't have said that. But it's in that context of anything. Oh, I think people forgot what comedians do.
People forget what
comedians do. If you think what Andrew Schulz said was bad, I've seen way worse from comedians.
And let's be real. Let's be real too, because I think we're past time, right?
Yes.
Let's be also real too. We gotta acknowledge a few things. People don't like to acknowledge this, so I'm gonna say it anyway. Mm-hmm. Black comedians get away with saying whatever they want. You can speak on any race, any topic. Most, damn near every topic. Mm-hmm. A black comedian, whether a woman or man, can get away with talking about anything in the book, and nobody else can say anything about it. Mm-hmm. Whereas on the flip side, white comedians, they don't get that luxury.
They have to tread the line.
They don't get that luxury. Mm-hmm. And I'm here to ask the world, you in particular, because you're here, I'm talking to you. Mm-hmm. Do you have a problem with that, or should it be equal?
I don't think it should be. I personally don't believe it should be equal per se. Mm-hmm. But if you decide to cross that line, I can't get mad about it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Because the history of America, right? It's just the history of America. Just because something's funny doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? Just because something's funny, you know what I mean? You, as a white guy or a white woman walking America, y'all can go home and be like, well, we're good. But some black jokes is damn, that hurts to the core because of how y'all treated us from the start.
Got it.
You get what I'm saying? So it's so
there's more baggage.
I can feel hurt because, damn, that's how y'all looked at us. You know what I'm saying? This was real. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Wow, but not saying that what black people are saying about what these black comedians are saying about white people are not real, but there's just more history of, black people in America being done wrong to where, it's a little more sense. I can understand the sensitivity to it.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, fair enough. I wouldn't ask you that question to lead you in any direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My answer is case by case.
Essentially, that's what I'm saying.
It's 100% case by case. I'm not gonna lie. There's certain white people, they can get away with saying all type of stuff because of how their demeanor. For example, Bill Burr. We talked about this before. Mm-hmm. He's super raw on the microphone with his comedy. Yeah. He offends probably more than your average comedian. Yeah. Says things that could be considered racist up there on that damn stage.
For sure.
But guess what though? It's funny.
It's his prerogative.
Funny, and in my opinion, he comes across as it's just comedy.
Mm-hmm. And they know this.
It just doesn't come across as super personalized where I feel like, all right, this guy's racist.
But once again,
there's some agenda behind any of this stuff. You get what I mean?
100%. I want to reiterate.
Case by case though.
By case. If you feel offended, because I don't want to tell people you don't have the right to be offended. black women have the right to be offended by what he
About
said,
anything.
right?
That's
you,
said about
you
them.
feel offended. I if somebody said, "Dang, like that hurt," I respect that, But at the same time, it's like, we have to remember that he's a comedian and he is going to say things that are offensive to people, and it's like I don't think this needs a long soliloquy. We need to call him this racist, this, that. I don't think it needs all that because he's a comedian. Their job is to offend people. And it's okay for us to be offended by something they said, but I just personally don't believe it needs freaking this long soul-searching comment on Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
Well said. We can end there.
I just want to keep reiterating.
No, that's fair. And I want to reiterate even more. That's why I opened up this whole topic. When you asked me the question, I said, let me give a PSA. Mm-hmm. A comedian's job. For those of you guys who don't know.
But people aren't going to listen to that.
People aren't going to listen to this. I'm going to say it again.
People are going to cut the clip.
Job is to offend a lot of times.
We are the ones cutting the clip, and the clip will be cut in a way that
doesn't help us. That doesn't help us. Hey, man. Hey.
They're not going to listen to this.
We got to get better.
What are you talking about?
We got to get better at clip cut.
I guarantee you they're not going to listen.
For those of you who are going to lose context, just watch the whole episode.
Yeah, please.
Watch the whole episode. Don't get the full discussion.
Because we're going to clip it, and then we're going to make ourselves look bad. Oh, my God. Lighter note, huh? This isn't a lighter note.
Let's move on to the next topic. J. Cole.
Cole.
Isn't it? Doesn't it full? It feels full circle to me when we
Hollywood
have an episode.
Cole.
When we have an episode where we're talking about the glorified big three. I don't know if Cole's still in your big three or not. Maybe after he apologized to Kendrick and he took a perceived L and he did all these questionable things in 2024, you may have moved him out of your top three, okay? But guess what? We're going to give him some love on this episode because it's the 10-year anniversary of 2014 Forest Hills Drive. Such a dope time in music. A lot of stuff was happening around that time. I remember when that album dropped, this is, I feel like this was before people started to create this narrative about J. Cole's music and calling him boring. This was like when he had reached, in my opinion, I don't want to say the pinnacle of his artistry, but I do believe he went on tour. I remember he even had a live album for this album where he went on tour, went back to North Carolina, Fayetteville, did a whole arena live concert, did the whole album live. It was a special time. But a lot of people will argue this is his best album. Out of everything that man has dropped, a lot of people say 2014 Forest Hills is his best album. I'm one of those people who stand on that. This was a special album, and we're 10 years later, man. So I think other than celebrating this album and giving it its props that it probably deserves, he's about to go on tour, right? He's doing a one night only in New York. You told me about that.
Yep.
Celebrating the album. If y'all are obviously in New York City, y'all check that out. Shoot, I wish I can go. I ain't got enough money for y'all.
New York City.
Yeah.
Favorite city in the world.
Absolutely. But yo, talk to me, man. Like, do you feel like this? I mean, a lot. You can go however you want to go, man. Is this his best album?
I literally just listened to this album. So
did I. On the way up here,
I do think it's his best album.
Okay.
A close second. You know what I have as a close second? I can't believe I'm saying this. Might Delete Later might be his second best album. I think Might Delete Later is an excellent album by J. Cole.
Of course it's excellent.
But
second best though.
Second best. It might be. Think about it. KOD.
Let me think about this.
It's not Born Sinner. Hell no. It's not Sideline Story. It's not
Off Season.
Off Season's good. I like Off Season, but I think Might Delete Later is better. Might Delete Later.
I think it's top three.
I
think it's top three.
It's definitely top three.
Top three for sure.
Definitely top
three. Top three for sure.
But
okay.
With this album, this was the first album where I felt like the pressure wasn't on with Cole. Because remember, when Cole first came out, like, the pressure was on. Like, he's talking about, I was anointed by Jay-Z to save hip-hop, almost like the Terminator. He let Nas down by making exercise music. it just wasn't 100% clicking. And I think he reinvented himself, started growing his hair out, started kind of, toying with, more chill, gentle sounding production, and just kind of like let loose. And I thought this album was the thing. This album changed the trajectory of J. Cole to me. Like, J. Cole was trending towards like a Logic, you know what I'm saying, where Logic raps hard over these beats and stuff like that. But like J. Cole, it seemed more comfortable in his skin by the time 2014 Forest Hill Drive came out. What's interesting about this album is that, as I'm looking at the track listing, what's interesting about this album is that almost every single song aged like fine wine. Like almost every single one. Like if you talk about, I remember the first time I heard No Role Models. I was like, yo, this is a good song. This is a really good song. But it's not, whatever was hot in 2014. It's not that. But as time gone by, I keep hearing first, rest in peace of Uncle Phil.
It's classic.
You're like, yo, dog, this is a timeless record.
That's classic.
It's timeless. It doesn't feel like it was 10 years ago. I look at No Role Models. I love Apparently.
Amazing.
Like, I just really feel like J. Cole was in a very refreshing place. He kind of restarted his image. And I think that's my favorite thing about 2014 Forest Hill Drive.
Very well said. And actually, I'm glad you went that route because, look, no secret, J. Cole's my favorite rapper of all time.
Still?
Yeah.
Even after the apology, I heard he apologized. Sorry,
Stop.
real quick.
So you gonna tell me he apologized again?
Yeah, he apologized to.
Come on, man.
I heard a story. You guys gotta watch it.
Stop it.
Shane Battier.
He apologized to Shane Battier?
He said Shane Battier was like, hey, the kids know me for, the kids know me from NBA 2K, and J. Cole's line where he said, "You're lame like Shane Battier." Remember that line?
Yeah.
You're lame like Shane. He said, "You lame like Shane Battier," right? So he said, I went to a restaurant one day and, the waiter was like, somebody wants to talk to you. God. And he was like, who is this? He said, J. Cole. J. Cole wants to talk to you. And he said, J. Cole apologized to me. For saying, he said, man, I was young. So, yeah.
Hey, bro, y'all gonna mess around and make J. Cole.
He is a serial apology.
Y'all gonna mess around. Y'all gonna mess around and turn J. Cole into Ruben Studdard. I'm sorry for 2022. Sorry, 2024. My bad. Y'all gonna make J. Cole make an apology song, bro.
Damn. I respect it because J. Cole, was ever in his soul,
look,
it speaks. It didn't sit right in his soul. I respect that.
I'm
over the apology.
Look, minus the apology. This is not even what this is about. I was saying there's some people who obviously, maybe, they took him out their list. And listen, I was disappointed, but I'm past it, guys. And going back to this 2014 Forest Hills Drive album, and I'm glad you brought up the whole aspect of him growing out his hair because you're totally right. And actually, if you look and you listen to that album very carefully, the music and what he was saying, the lyricism, and then you compare it to what he did on that apology stage when he talked to Kendrick. He literally said on stage, yo, I was moving, it reminded me of how I was moving incorrectly like 10 years ago. That matches directly with like when this album dropped.
Yeah.
Because even if you listen to Forest Hills Drive, bro, like you hear his perspective turn more cerebral. You hear him lean less away from the fancy, my watch this, my watch that, to really get more depth.
Yeah.
He's giving you more real talk where he's actually getting into what he wants in life, who he wants to be. And that's important, for artists to go through that natural emotion, obviously, as a human being, but put that in the music. And so that's why this album is special, because it's like all of these different things happened at once. You get J. Cole really coming to his own as a man, who he wants to be. Musically, he's trying new things, getting more melodic. Apparently, singing. He was always singing. But he really,
but this one was like
he really showed it,
dedicating full songs to 100%,
like you
singing
the intro. He's like, "Do you want to be? Do you want to be?" Like he's trying things.
And then even GOMD, it's like, dog, that's not a J. Cole like song. You got Young Buck on the hook.
Come on, get off my dick. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like he was having fun. Like he just seemed loose. Cause I mean, listen, like I told you earlier, I listened to literally the Come Up, Friday Night Lights. It was a competitive fight. The warm up. It was a competitive fire in him. It was like, yo, I gotta prove myself. It was almost like the old school version of how rappers used to do, back in the day, selling their CDs from trunks and like trying to hustle.
He was in that hustle
I'm going
mode.
to try to out-rap anybody who I see on the street. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of the vibe I was getting. This one, I think he finally knew his place. And he just felt more comfortable.
And that's that
skin.
Self-realization where you can hear somebody coming into their own.
Yep. And it's like
a person and on the microphone, and it translated right to the music. So,
and I wish a lot of artists. I do wish a lot of artists can come to this point. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of guys out there that's super talented. Unfortunately, we talked about Corday. I think Corday started with this place, like trying to be the refreshing. This. I think you got to get there. I think you gotta evolve there. You know what I'm saying? You can't start there. It's tricky. You can't start there. You gotta evolve there. I think, gotta appreciate more when artists evolve. Everybody talks about how Jay-Z changed, this, that. Jay-Z ain't no drug dealer. Now he's talking all rich. You gotta appreciate that evolution he went through. And I think J. Cole went through an evolution. And now, how would you describe J. Cole? J. Cole's super competitive now.
I mean, he's competitive, but he knows who he is. Like on the microphone, he doesn't. Listen. He's the gun bar king. I've been saying this for a while. He'll give you gun bar metaphors every day, every record. But in terms of thought-provoking content, giving you topics like pie, he will take you to another galaxy. Lyrically these days. And it's something that is probably easy for him to do, where maybe he just started unlocking that around 2014. He'll do it consistently for a whole song, whereas back then he would kind of give you little bars here and there, but go back to the flexing. You see what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this.
Talk to me.
I have to say this. I have to say this.
Is
J. Cole? Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Is J. Cole the best rapper you ever heard in your life? Like, if we really, really think about this, I know that people are going to think this is blasphemy, this is that. Or let me rephrase it. J. Cole at his peak, is he the best rapper you heard in your life? Because I'm like, yo, bro, like, the more I think about it, I listen to Friday Night Lights, right? Like, I listen to... okay, before I say that, let me do an NBA comparison. Like...
It's a long ass question.
Basketball. Kevin Durant, to me, Kevin Durant at his peak might be the best basketball player I've ever seen in my life. Like, when Kevin Durant is playing well, I literally believe he's unstoppable.
All right.
Right?
I know how to answer.
But I will never call Kevin Durant the GOAT, right?
Okay.
If J. Cole is at his peak, firing all cylinders, I am starting to believe that is the best rapper I've heard in my life when he is at his peak. He may not be the GOAT. I think Jay-Z's the GOAT. I'm never going to come off that. But at the peak?
I know how to answer this question.
Wow.
I know how to answer this question. I'll give it to you like this. Well, first off, I'm not going to answer your question directly. But I'll say this.
Well played.
We have to start treating rappers the way we evaluate rappers. It should be how we should evaluate NBA players. I'll tell you exactly what I mean. There's a concept of being a two-way player. And there's some people who respect that mantra. They respect what that means from a basketball standpoint. Then there's other people who are casual and only care about offense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is when people talk about Kevin Durant, oh, he's the best player I've ever seen in my life. They're talking about offense, bro.
Yeah, they are talking. That's true.
They're talking about offense.
That's true.
They're not talking about the complete picture of a basketball player. So when you ask me, is he the best rapper? I got to look at this from two different angles. One is, are we talking about bars, just rapping? Or are we talking about how those bars translate to music? Because If we're just talking about bars,
rapping.
I got mad people I'll throw in the
I'm just saying,
best I've ever heard.
Just rapping. Just rapping.
Just rapping? He's not the best. No,
like,
he's not the best.
I'm just
I think, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
If we're just talking about rap, Nas is absolutely incredible.
Nas is good.
Jay-Z, just rap. Just rap. I got them over Cole.
I've heard J. Cole. Like,
seriously.
I'm just thinking, like, you're talking about the song. Remember the song he has with Daylight and
Pie. You're talking about in
Ab-Soul.
I was gonna say Ab-Soul is one of the greatest lyricists I have ever heard in my life.
Did you hear what J. Cole did on that song?
He went crazy.
I'm like, J. Cole one of the only rappers, when I hear him rap, I'm like, yo, dog, like, I'm mind blown.
Yo,
that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen very often.
Okay, yo, actually,
with other rappers.
Actually, while we're here, mm-hmm. Who are some rappers that, like, when they rap, you're just like, dog, what's happening?
Drake. Like, for me, Drake.
Come on, dog.
Churchill Downs.
You just told me about.
I'm giving you an example.
I'm talking about Pie type rap.
Churchill Downs.
All right, fair.
Oh my! I said this on Twitter.
He snapped.
I said that's Drake's best verse I ever heard in my life.
Nah, he snapped.
Churchill Downs.
He snapped.
Wow.
He snapped.
But the Drake, that's not very often. Sometimes Drake, J. Cole, 100%. Who else?
Bro, I'm gonna throw some in there. Shoot.
Wayne, sometimes Wayne.
Wayne goes
Wayne.
Wayne goes nuts. He
Wayne.
still be going crazy.
Yeah, he still be going
pretty
crazy.
consistently these days.
Wow. Ab-Soul is a great
Ab-Soul is my guy that I want to put in this name. Ab-Soul.
Wow.
I be listening to Ab-Soul like, dog, I don't even understand how a human being computes.
Yeah. He sounds like a
how
computer.
does your brain fire?
He sounds like a computer
to make these type of things.
Come on. How can we forget?
I got another one.
How can we forget? Lupe Fiasco.
100%.
Lupe Fiasco. I'm like, yo, bro, like, wow.
Hey, here's the unpopular one that nobody cares about. Saha the Prince.
Of course.
Nobody cares about Saha, but he's another one.
Saha the Prince will blow you away.
He's another one on that Ab-Soul to me. When they rap, I'm like, bro, what kind of human being raps like
How
this?
can you forget Eminem? Eminem.
I'm not forgetting. He's next.
Eminem.
Yeah.
I mean, who else we talking? Eminem.
Just unbelievable content when they rap. It's like leave you mind blown.
Jay, obviously. Biggie was one of those guys. I'm like, yeah, wow, like unbelievable.
Notice how we.
But is there anybody today?
Notice how we didn't bring up Kendrick, because I wouldn't say Kendrick blows me away
but he's
all
smart.
the time. He's in that.
He can.
He does it.
He can. Like when
but that's
Kendrick,
not his MO.
It's not his MO.
He doesn't strive
he
to do that
though.
on
He's had some stuff
time,
like some of the ciphers that he had on BET ciphers. Like he blew me away with some of the stuff he was saying. Joe Budden's cipher was crazy, by the way. Joe Budden,
bro. I got one. I got one from now. I will say, dude, JID.
Oh yeah,
JID pretty consistently be rapping. I'm like, yo, for me, special. Like, what is he talking about?
I think the game is one of my favorite rappers, like of all time. The Game is one of my favorite rappers. Like the Game is nice.
Nah, the Game is
like when he gets going, the Game is nice with it. See, I love these convos because people be thinking that we don't know. How many times people be like, "You guys are too young."
You know what people think with,
I know more hip hop,
bro,
than your average person by far.
You know what's so crazy? I have whole grays in my beard.
Yeah,
and people are like, "Yo, who these young kids?
Who
these young kids?" I'm like, okay.
Why y'all saying this? But like, yeah, I'm telling you, like, I know more hip hop than most people I've consumed in my life.
What are you telling, bro?
Ridiculous, and insane,
man,
and unhealthy amount. I've heard crazy. The other day, I was listening to The Game, 300 bars and running. I was like, dog, oh my god.
I ain't gonna lie to you,
but yeah,
if
Rhapsody's another one. By the way, we're gonna talk about girls. Sure. Rhapsody.
Hey, to put a button on that, man, like Lupe, dog.
When
Lupe made that song "Hip Hop Saved My Life,"
Yo,
if you never listened to "Hip Hop Saved My Life,"
God,
if you never heard, I'm judging. This is my judging right now. If you never heard "Hip Hop Saved My Life" and felt like, damn, I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel where you're coming from.
That's a heartfelt. I mean,
if you're not a hip,
I want to hear that. I want to hear that song. I want to hear that song right now. Dog, I mean, dumb it down. Now I'm necklace, which means I'm eyeless, which means I'm this, which means oh my god,
unreal, bro.
Lupe might be up.
Did you hear the Ab-Soul Lupe and Punch TDE song on the Ab-Soul
I did.
Yo, Punch be rapping. He's actually
did.
aight.
I didn't know Punch. I didn't even get to that part. This is a long ass song.
It's a long verse from him
But
too.
yeah. I didn't know he rapped.
He
But
rapped.
yeah, I heard it though. Yeah.
Lupe.
I didn't really love that Absol album, by the way.
I didn't
love it.
But I did like that song. That's one of my standouts. Mainly because of Lupe. I just like
Freaking
Lupe went crazy.
Lupe is. I listened to Lupe Samurai. He had that Samurai album. Have you ever heard that?
Oh man, that was
my God.
that was an absolute.
Did you see what he
masterclass
like?
in
What?
rapping?
He wasn't rapping like this. He's
That was
he's gotten better.
That was an absolute masterclass.
He's gotten better, but it's
Yeah.
just like, wow.
Anyway, man. Hey,
See, all these people that don't think I can go. I will wash anybody. You
Listen.
gonna talk hip hop at any level?
Hey,
we just talk about the high level stuff.
Hey,
but like
we don't only cover Boss Man
D-Lo
D-Lo and some of these other guys. We know about the rapidy rap guys.
Mac
Come on
Miller.
now.
Mac Miller. When Mac Miller was spitting,
Special.
like Mac Miller has a song
Special.
with Wiz Khalifa. I can't remember exactly
They
what
have
the
a
song's
lot of
called.
songs. Which one?
Yeah, but there's one particular where it's just no hook. It's just bars, and Mac Miller went wild, went crazy.
You gotta play that for me.
I'll play it.
man.
I can't remember. It was like a loose mixtape like joint that's probably not even on streaming services.
Anyway,
But
man.
yeah,
Well, hey, you guys let us know in a roundabout way. We went on a hell of a deep dive, but I like when stuff like that happens. What do you think about 2014 Forest Hills Drive, man, on the 10-year anniversary? Are you going to be pulling up to that show?
he needs to
One
open
night
it up.
only?
He needs to open it up.
What you mean?
Open it up to other cities, like just swing by DC real
What
quick.
if he did one night? Wait, it wouldn't be one night, but what if he did one night,
Each
just
place.
spot dates? Yeah, like
Spot dates.
do it in LA, go to Houston, go to DC.
I think it's tight though. I ain't gonna lie. I think it's
Honestly,
tight.
I think-
he did one night in New York. I like that. That's actually kind of dope.
To be honest with you, I feel like more artists should do that.
That's dope. Yeah, I think. That's
Can you
really
imagine
dope.
it, bro?
That's really dope.
This is why I said, and I'm not gonna go too crazy here. This is why I said Drake has made a lot of boneheaded decisions this year. Why can't he just take us back to memory lane and just be nostalgic? He tried with 100 gigs with the footage, bro.
I thought that was
double down on your previous content people love you for. Can you imagine a one night only Take Care?
Oh yeah, that would
That
be tight.
will break the
That would be
internet.
tight. That would be tight.
Legit.
That would be tight.
One night
That'd be
in
tight.
Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. Somehow just
that's
somehow
true.
find a way
Houston,
to do
Atlanta,
like a
Vegas.
tri-stream. If I'm only streaming in Houston, Atlanta, and Vegas. Dog. Anyway, man.
It's if UMG allows him.
That's true. We'll see what the lawsuit says eventually. But anyway, we reached the end of the episode. Y'all make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you made it this far, man, you are the real MVP. Okay? You deserve the max contract, not us.
Yeah, right.
And as always, if you're giving advice, just make sure that thing is ill.
Yes, sir.
Bow!